Hey guys, Garnie here. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to Tech Tuesday, where I talk about personal tech gear, news of the industry, and industry-based software. Thanks for stopping by. So let's get started. So let me start off with a topic that I've been involved with for about 20 years, I guess. It's industry software called Master Data Management. So what is Master Data Management? Well, before we get there, let me explain why I'm doing this. Have you ever had a report, much less that doesn't align correctly? I'm really talking to the business analysts and the business folks that are out there. That you can't figure out where the information comes from. How do you define? How come this is not a standard? How about you received mail and your name is misspelled? It happens to me a lot. Why is that? I mean, I didn't give anyone my information incorrectly. I mean, I didn't misspell my first name on purpose, did I? And all of a sudden it shows up incorrectly spelled. What about, why is it that information out there about a supplier, or I'm in the oil and gas business, or defining an oil well so hard? Don't we know that it's actually got a physical location and it's got sensor information on it and there's some identifiers that go along with it? Well, guys, believe it or not, the world of data is pretty complex out there. And don't worry, there are solutions that are out there that helped that. And so let me qualify that by saying in my profession, I work for a company called Informatica, and I am a pre-sales architect, software architect, and I focus on the breadth of what Informatica does. And what does Informatica do? Well, it's an enterprise data management company. It provides software for small to large companies, from on-premise to in the cloud solutions, to manage all your data within your environment, from the most raw information to sensor information to big data information to reporting information. It can be on-site or in the cloud or both. That's what Informatica provides. Now, I've been with Master Data Management for a while, and the hardest thing is trying to help the business and the business analysts. Don't get me wrong, guys, you guys are really smart out there, because the business and IT organizations are slowly coming together because people are getting more and more into the information or the data sets that are out there. So why is this so important? Master data has been around for a long time. Why hasn't it just taken off? Well, it's a great idea, but a lot of people just don't understand it. And it's very difficult to describe master data to anyone. And so let me try to share with you what Gartner says master data is, and then we'll go through some examples. First, master data management, according to Gartner, and I'll put the links in the description below where you can get this, is a technology-enabled discipline in which business and IT work together to ensure the uniformity, accuracy, stewardship, semantic consistency, and accountability of the enterprise's official shared master data asset. Master data assets. Now, again, they talk about it's a discipline. There's also collaboration in that. Again, where it says business and IT work together. It talks about uniformity, accuracy, stewardship. It talks about harmonization, standardization, and qualification of the data itself for the enterprise. So let me talk about what is master data. I like Wikipedia's description. I thought it was great, sweet and short and to the point. Master data represents the business objects which are agreed on and shared across the enterprise. I like that. The business objects which are agreed on and shared across the enterprise. So a customer is a customer is a customer, right? A well is a well is a well. Or a supplier is a supplier is a supplier. Well, we all know that that's not the case, because sometimes you may have loyal customers, you may have sometime customers, you may have angry customers, you may have supplier A and supplier B that get all their materials from supplier C. Do you understand the relationship maps between them? Or like from an oil standpoint, there are so many people who leverage that oil well, from the owners to the land lease, the leasing company, to legal, to regulations, to the company extracting the resources out of the ground. How many definitions of an oil well are out there? It's daunting. It should be simple, right? But it's not, because of all the dependencies of how everything needs to come together. And at the time, really, there was no way of mastering this. Now, trying to explain all that to the business folks is sometimes daunting, because they've got to get business going. IT has the responsibility of making things happen for them. So how do we create an environment or set of tool sets to make them come together, or allow them to come together? So what are the processes around that? I hope that all makes sense. Hopefully you'll get this. And let me move to the side here real quick. You see this? I'll put this chart a little bit together to give you an illustration. If you were defining a color of a shirt, and you say you want it red, which red is relevant? Could the first one be what's actually on the tag in the store? But the second one could be what you source from a supplier? Could the third one be the type of red that you have to define from a distribution standpoint? How about lowercase red? Are one's bold and one's not bold? Are they relevant? So again, this is what I'm talking about, is how do you standardize the information of your data or the business objects for your enterprise that's shared across the organization. There's 5 things I like to talk about when it comes to master data. So again, guys, I'm really talking for the business here. So I'm not going to dive deep into technology. That's not what this is about. I just like to share some of the things and what I'm passionate about. There's 5 things. So let me start off with the first one, is being able to understand, discover, and gain insight to your data. Discover and gain insight to your data. You got to have some way of, if you don't know what you have, how can you define it? And much less, how do you master it? So being able to discover and gain insights, to be able to see what it is, what it looks like, and that way it leads right into the next thing, which is step number 2, and that is creating rules to standardize, harmonize, and qualify the information. Standardize, harmonize, and qualify the information. When you standardize and harmonize the information, you correct misspellings, or you get rid of misnomer information. You harmonize the information to make sure that it is not against the standard, that if it's all capitals, that you make it all lowercase, or if it's all lowercase, you make it a uppercase. You harmonize that across your organization on defined rules, and of course that makes it qualified, which means, hey, I know that the data that I'm working with is good. Next is creating, well, this is where you start creating the master data, where you create match, merge, and survivorship rules. Wow, say that 10 times fast. Match, merge, survivorship rules. So we could actually say that, yes, these reds actually all do make the same, and I merge these things together, and I survive one of them to say this is the golden standard. Remember the examples that I had earlier about red? Yeah, is the first one the correct one? And if that's so, make it a rule. They're all valid. They're all valid reds, but make the top one the golden standard. And then lastly we're talking about creating a data model around this. And the reason why we talk about a data model around this is, how do you define a shirt? How do you define a customer, a supplier, a well? Do you use 10 attributes to define it? Do you just use first name, last name, locate, and address? Do you use more information to define a customer? I don't know. That's up to you. But you need a way to be able to define that and then standardize that and make that a policy for the organization to understand that when you're talking about a well, a supplier, or a customer, you're talking about the same thing over and over again. And then lastly is a consumption model. Who's going to use that information you just mastered? It's like, who's going to take your cake? Who's going to take a slice of your cake that you just made here? Again, guys, it's not hard. The idea is, the benefits behind master data is that you are able to share the standardized information across the enterprise so everyone understands what a well is, what a supplier is, what a customer is, and then be able to align your reports accordingly. Yes, there's a lot of technology that goes behind it. Yes, there's a lot of methodologies that are behind it. But I just wanted to share what is master data from a high level view, and that is data that's actually qualified for your organization, that is agreed upon, that can be shared across the enterprise, and have tools to again, it's a discipline. It's tools to enable the business and IT to work together to make it happen. If you have any questions about master data management or what we do at Informatica that does that, I can put links in my description. But don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. I mean, I've been in this industry for a while, been with many other companies that have done this, so I can share my experiences with you. Or, hey, if it gets to a point to where you have a lot more questions, I can turn you on to a lot of other folks if you want to deep down into some great folks that I know online that are more than willing to help share and actually collaborate with you. So thanks again for checking in with me, guys. Really do appreciate it. I hope you like this inaugural Tech Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do something on my camera. Leave me a comment. Let me know what it is. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that like button and get out there and hit subscribe. I really do appreciate and show your support. So until then, we'll talk to you next time. Peace.